Wyoming down his score as we start the second quarter, and his first career start, Nick Smith, Cole, has looked pretty good.
I like the plan that they've put together for the first time starter.
So he wears number 15, and they say that he reminds them a little bit of Tim Tebow.
He's got that build. He's a big physical kid, but I like the way that Craig Bohl and Brent Vigen have mixed things up for Nick Smith. Get him outside of the pocket, play actions, easy throws, easy reads, and he's made good decisions. He's known, pull the football down, don't risk an interception or a turnover. You have the capability to run and get yardage on your own. Tuck it and go. He's been great so far.
He's carried 6 times for 25 yards. Give to Hill over to the left side, and he tumbles forward to the 44-yard line to set up a 3rd down and 2. Smith out of Merritt Island, Florida. Not exactly the type of guy you think that might end up at Wyoming and Casper, but his family had property in Wyoming, which Craig Bohl said made it easier to recruit him out to play for the Cowboys.
Take advantage of opportunities, and he's got a great one here tonight. He's capitalized early on.
Hill is the easy choice on 3rd and short. He's got midfield and more. Cutting back at the 40-yard line, and the run finally terminates there. Pickup of about 17 for Hill on the carry.
That's why I like multiple tight end sets, Mike. You stretch the defense, and if they want to try and play you down inside, the bounce out's going to be there. Watch Brian Hill just bounces football to the outside and has explosiveness to beat that defense to the sideline. And we mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. He's not going to step out of bounds, not afraid of contact, will not shy away from being a physical ball carrier, always looking for the yak yards.
9 carries for him, and expect that workload to be heavy all night. Carry number 10. A spin back inside, and where there was nothing, where Chase Roulier couldn't hold the block at left guard, he picked up a little bit extra.
It's asking a lot. You get a big 300-pounder out on the edge. You got an outside linebacker that's 230, 240. He's juking and jiving around. You're trying to stay in front of him. It's difficult to watch the breastplate instead of the helmet or the arms flailing around. But nonetheless, Brian Hill understands how to make cuts, Mike. He presses the line of scrimmage. He gets to the outside, waits on his lineman, and then he makes a cut, and he's very decisive after he does.
His backup, Kellen Overstreet, to the right in the shotgun. He serves as a lead blocker for Smith. Quickly wrapped up by Fackrell, the team's 2nd leading tackler.
You see just what kind of football player Kyler Fackrell is. That lead block by Overstreet turned into more of a get block back from Kyler Fackrell. And as he bucks the running back off, he's able to make the tackle on Brian Hill.
3 out of 4 on 3rd downs. 3rd and 5. Right side of the formation, Overstreet is stood up and stopped short. Overstreet, the freshman from Hamilton, Missouri, securing his spot as the number 2 back. He's not getting it done there.
Safety has to come up and make a play. But I like the play call, Mike. Don't get too risky. Don't get fancy. Go to Brian Hill. Let those big offensive linemen try and bust the hole up. But just an excellent job coming up and filling the hole.
Back to it on 4th down. They converted once in that first quarter. Hill is the running back. Hill left side, he didn't get it. Turnover on downs as the Utah State defense comes up big.
Early on the field.
Penetration will destroy a run play, and that's what you see here from the Aggie defense. Wyoming had been attacking the edge, attacking the perimeter the entire drive, unable to come up with 1st down yardage there as Jordan Nielsen and Tyler Floyd combined on the stop.
They turn away the 6th leading rusher in FBS and can take a 2-score lead when we come back. 14-7 here in Logan, Utah. The Utah State Aggies with the lead over the 1-7 Wyoming Cowboys. Kent Myers shovels it away to Devontae Mays on first down. He's got nice yardage right near the first down marker. And brought down at about the 40-41 yard line by Eddie Yarbrough.
Yeah, good for Wyoming and that staff to see 55 back on the field. Eddie Yarbrough is a playmaker for the Cowboys defense. Now, you don't want him making plays 9 yards down the field. An excellent cut by Devontae Mays.
Second and short, Myers throws, and the pass is caught. It's a first down for Utah State. Flag comes in at the end of the play. We'll see what this call is. Andrew Rodriguez, the junior from Allen, Texas, makes the catch.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 45, grab the helmet opening. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the play. Automatic first down.
25 plus 15 for the penalty on Lucas Waka.
Nice read from Kent Myers, uncovered in the slot, right there, you see. And Myers goes play action and delivers a strike right over the middle. Excellent read from Kent Myers, understanding soft safety coverage, going to be 10, 15 yards off, has time to get out of that play action and deliver the football.
And quickly sets up great field position for Utah State. Play action to the sideline. All comes loose right at the end, but the play had come to an end as Braylon Roberts hauls it in. A popular target tonight for Myers in the early going.
Myers making nice reads. This is a run-pass option again. You saw center Austin Stevens working his way, going ahead and on up to the second level, but he liked the coverage that he saw. I like the quick routes on the run-pass options. Usually those are behind the line of scrimmage or sort of fade routes, but Utah State likes to pull that football out and deliver some quick out routes.
Myers 8 of 8 through the air, 142 yards. A give and a spin and a tumble down to the 2-yard line for Devontae Mays, who sets up the Aggies right on the doorstep with Sidney Alaulu making the stop.
We started the last 2 weeks, Mike. I think they really want him to be the feature back.
A give up the middle, and it's a touchdown to Utah State. Devontae Mays with the carry. And his second touchdown of the night. How about that call? They just hurried it up right back to the line.
That's where tempo is most beneficial. You catch a defense either in a personnel grouping or in a formation that you like. You just hurry back to the line of scrimmage. You already know it's going to be the same play. Maybe there's an option off of it. Paid off there for the Aggies. That was the epitome of how to use pace and tempo to your advantage.
The hold bobbled a little bit, but the kick from Warren is good. 69-yard drive that lasts 2 minutes and 2 seconds. Mays through the middle, headlong for the score.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Well, after last week against San Diego State, just 239 yards of offense, we still got 9 minutes to play here in the second quarter, and Utah State, with the lead, has put 209 yards of offense together as they lead it 21-7 over Wyoming here at home. Nice balance of run and pass. Kent Myers, the sophomore quarterback, a perfect 8 of 8 through the air. Nowhere to go with that kickoff. And a touchback. Takes things out for Wyoming. Devontae Mays on that last drive pounded in his second touchdown of the night. Coming to Utah State after spending last year at Blinn Junior College down in Texas. Started his career at Tyler Community College in Texas and has been a nice addition to what has historically been, for Matt Wells, a multi-pronged running back attack. Smith making his first career start at quarterback, gives it away for Hill, who cuts back through the defense, has a first down and keeps rumbling with an extra push from behind. Chase Roulier, his left guard, helps extend the run to the 41 and a gain of 16 on first down.
Mike, this is just a big boy cut from Brian Hill. You mentioned it, 73, Chase Roulier pulls around, but Brian Hill has the wherewithal to stop, not try to stretch that football to the sideline and understand defense had over pursued a little bit, go back to the interior of that defense, and he finds about an extra 10, 15 yards.
Now Smith turns back and takes a timeout.
One of the first times that the Aggies have showed single safety coverage there, and Nick Smith makes the correct decision. Get out of it if you're not confident.
And how interesting it is for him, a guy who was number 3 in the preseason depth chart. Makes a good decision there to stop the clock. Tomorrow afternoon, college football presented by Kate Jewelers and 5 Hour Energy. Clemson at 7-0 against NC State. And Maryland and Iowa City for the number 10 Hawkeyes, ABC or ESPN2, starting at 3:30 Eastern. Also live on Watch ESPN. Down a couple scores, Wyoming out of a timeout. 1st and 10. Design run for Smith, who's got his running back Hill as a lead blocker. And a nice carry there for Smith.
Most defensive coordinators, Mike, will tell you, quarterback is the unaccounted for man. Defenses have just not been drawn up to play for the quarterback that has mobility, very similar to Clemson quarterback Deshaun Watson.
He's 11-1 as a starter for the Tigers. Smith, in just his first career start today, they've got a streak of 35 straight wins, Clemson does, against unranked teams, trying to keep that alive tomorrow against NC State.
I think his arm will be the difference. Artavis Scott saw him a lot in that package. Pretty good rush defense for North Carolina State. Through the air is how Watson will win.
It's Hill through the middle. He's got first down yardage. Grab from behind by Vigil, whose brother, Zach, was a great linebacker here last year. Those two were team leaders right in the middle of that defense for Utah State. A 10-win season for them last year.
85 tackles on the season now for Nick Vigil. Very active linebacker, flourishes in this system, playing just behind 3 down linemen. But he'll come up and play near the line of scrimmage, or he can go sideline to sideline.
Hollister, the tight end, shifts back to his original position. And Hill through the first layer of defense with speed breaking away from the defense. He's inside the 15, the 5. He dives at the pylon, and he is in. Touchdown, Brian Hill. What a second effort to take that one for the score.
Wow. We discussed the power that Brian Hill has. Just bouncing off defenders, turning a 180 to the opposite sideline, and then the speed to get to the corner of the end zone, 30 yards away.
47-yard touchdown for Hill.
Drew Van Manen is going to lose a little bit of a block here, and Brian Hill just bounces right off and able to take it to the house. Excellent speed after really coming to a complete stop. Talk about that burst of just coming to a stop, starting and stopping speed, that 10-yard burst they talk about at the combine in the 40. Brian Hill's got it.
14 carries for him tonight and 130 yards for Hill. My goodness, last week he had 23 carries for just 76 yards, but he's helped keep Wyoming, an underdog coming into the game, right in it, down 1 score in the second quarter. Nobody's held the ball for all too long tonight. That last drive for Wyoming lasted all of 2 minutes and 10 seconds as Brian Hill went for a 47-yard touchdown run. made it a 21-14 game. We've still got about 7 minutes left here in this second quarter, and already a bevy of points up on the board between these two teams.
You can see him resting on his fullback there, Drew Van Manen, just trying to get a little bit of a breather. He needs a blow. He's worked hard today already.
Wood sends it to the corner and kicks it out of bounds. It's the third time.
Out of bounds. Kicking team. Ball's placed at the 35-yard line. First down, Utah State.
Third time that Wood has kicked it out of bounds this year.
Mike, let's take a look at Brian Hill and just how effective he has been. It's been between the tackles. It's been outside the tackles, but the burst, after slowly coming to a stop or slowing down, getting to the outside, has been what I've been most impressed with Brian Hill. I knew he could get it done with contact. I knew he could get the yards after contact, but the speed after contact and getting back to full speed quickly is what's really impressed me tonight by the Wyoming running back.
He's averaging about 9 yards a carry tonight.
Well, you mentioned he's at 130 for the game. He averages 132.6 a game, which is on pace to set the school record for most yards rushing per game in a season. He's got a little time to tack onto that this evening.
Got the officials chatting with Matt Wells, the head coach of Utah State. Presumably he wanted to see if he could get it center hash. But because it's kicked out of bounds, they start on the right side, 1st and 10 from their 35. First down handoff, Devontae Mays. And a bowling ball collision ends the run at the 49-yard line as Lucas Waka makes the stop.
Mike, it's a 4-3 defense with the linebacker removed over the slot receiver, but you have two backs in the backfield with a tight end. It's a nice run look for Utah State. Wyoming's going to have to make an adjustment to slow that run down. Can't stay in this defense.
And they go 4-down lineman again. Back to the ground for Utah State. Mays having trouble trying to work his way across the 50-yard line. A gain of maybe 1 there for the junior out of Texas.
You saw Wyoming flash a safety down to the line of scrimmage. Before that play, they go cover one, single deep safety, trying to bring that extra defender into the box and help against the run.
Wyoming defense, 9th in the Mountain West in terms of rush yards per game. They give up about 213 a night. Not much doing there as Waka comes in to make the stop on the one. Hunt, who shares those carries with Mays. Hunt, the sophomore out of Las Vegas.
That young man right there, Lucas Waka, about 214 pounds for your Mike linebacker. And right there, sticking the helmet right into the chest of Devontae Mays, a 220-pound running back. So giving up 5-6 pounds. He'll still play some physical football, though.
3rd and 6. See if Waka and the defense can get a stop. Myers with a quick completion across the 40-yard line.
Nice read from Kip Myers, Utah State quarterback. Wyoming drops back, zone blitz. They only rush 3. You're going to have time to operate, and just the right play call against zone coverage, able to find some space.
Finding his tight end, Wyatt Houston. Back to the ground. Granderson can't make the tackle along the defensive line. And a nice bounce out for Devontae Mays.
Devontae Mays, just a physical back, zone play. Kind of has that uncanny ability that never looks like he's moving extremely fast, but he just keeps bouncing and keeps bouncing and runs through defenders. But Mike, the Wyoming defense is going to have to be careful and stay with that quarterback keep. Kent Myers had a lot of space if he decides to pull that football down on the previous play.
And he certainly can. Earlier this year set a Utah State quarterback rushing record. A chance for a touchdown. They've got it. Brandon Swindle. There is a flag down, though, at the 5-yard line.
Holding. Offense, number 26. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It's first down.
So they go play action, Mike. Lawan Hunt leads the way down the sideline. And they look for 26, Kennedy Williams, out of the backfield on that wheel route. He's covered. They hit the underneath crosser, and Williams is holding down around the 5-yard line to negate the touchdown. Take another look. You'll see Williams, bottom left of your screen. There's the hold. Must release the defender. If it's a one-on-one situation in space and he wants to detach and attempt to go make a tackle, Williams didn't do it there.
Sets him back at the 14-yard line. Mays turns it to the right and picks up 4 yards.
I do want to go back to that previous play, though. So many times you'll see that play action and that wheel route comes out. A lot of teams have success with it. It's in almost every offense. But you don't usually have that underneath secondary option that Utah State kept there. Josh Heupel, a nice play call, knowing that if that wheel route's covered, we really don't have an option. Instead of throwing away, put a little crosser with it, and you can dump it off.
Heupel, the new offensive coordinator, coming in from Oklahoma after he was let go after their bowl loss the end of last season. Now Myers, he's got his tight end Houston in front of him, tries to use that block. Cut down by Waka at the 7-yard line.
The fans don't like it, but it's a nice decision by Kent Myers to just pull this ball down and run. No one open, good coverage from that Wyoming defense. Wyatt Houston, I like the way he tries to stop and peel back and get a little bit of a block on Eddie Yarbrough, 55. Not enough space there to sneak into the end zone.
Not easy to block Yarbrough either. He's their most experienced player, making his 36th start today along that defensive line. And now we've got a whistle and a timeout taken by Utah State.
First charge timeout.
They stop things here with 3:08 left before halftime.
Utah State has really worked this drive. It feels like it's been one that's loaded with big plays, but they've eaten some clock. Now you're down around the 10-yard line, inside the 10-yard line. Coach Wells and his staff want to make sure they come away with points here. So play calling in the red zone has been successful so far. We've seen some of those play action passes work out.
Cole, big game coming up tomorrow night. It's number 9 Notre Dame and number 21 Temple. The Owls 7-0 for the first time ever. 6-1 Notre Dame's playoff hopes very much alive if they can win out to finish off the season. Notre Dame Temple 8 Eastern on ABC. It's the site of College Game Day in Philadelphia. Also streaming live on Watch ESPN.
I'm excited about that matchup. CJ Prosise, 100 yards in 5 of 7 games. Notre Dame running back this year, going against that 6th best rush defense in the country of the Temple Owls, giving up under 92 yards a game on the ground.
A really nice job by defensive coordinator Phil Snow this year with an exceptionally experienced defensive unit. Now some more whistles precede the snap
on the
here.
field for
Lucas
injury.
Waka
The player's bleeding.
has to come off the field. No good there as the middle linebacker and stud of that linebacking core is off the field for Wyoming.
And you see a couple splotches of blood on his pants there too, sticking out on those yellow drawers.
Hunter Sharp, their leading wide receiver, goes in motion to the slot. They fake the give, and the run for Myers is sniffed out. He's down to the 5, gets 2, and nothing more. It's 3rd and goal after the tackle from Yarbrough.
Boy, Eddie Yarbrough, the rip through the pulling offensive lineman. I love this. You see a rip move a lot of times in pass rush, but he just takes his left arm and almost a gigantic uppercut on the offensive lineman that's pulling around and bowls his way through, able to come backside and make that tackle on the quarterback sweep. Nice play from 55, Eddie Yarbrough.
Third and goal. Lindsey is the running back. He runs out of the formation. Myers takes off. Nowhere to go. Sidney Mala'ulu helps wrap him up at the waist. 4th and goal, and here comes the field goal team.
Mala'ulu, you mentioned it. He's a redshirt freshman, Mike. He finishes this play off, but 55 again. Eddie Yarbrough. We'll take a look here. One-on-one. Coming underneath, that's that rip move again. And then Sydney Mala'ulu, the 300-pounder, tracking down Kent Myers for the sack.
22-yard try for Brock Warren, a perfect 5 of 5 on the year. Kick is up, and it is good. So Wyoming, relatively speaking, slows down the Utah State offense, and they hold them to 3 with a $1:38 to play in the half. Coming up on the DXL halftime report, a look at Notre Dame and Temple, the only ranked matchup of the weekend. Georgia and Florida, a crucial game in the SEC East, and the bare necessities with our friend and yours, Chris Fallica. So we'll take a look at that. Minute 39 left here in the first half. A field goal from Utah State makes it a 10-point game, 24-14, with Wyoming set to receive the kickoff. And a little bit of time to try and do some damage before the half. They will get the ball to start the second half as Utah State won the opening toss, elected to receive the ball, and it proved to be a fruitful decision.
Is the Bear giving some picks at halftime?
You'll have to tune in to the DXL halftime report, won't you?
I'll do that on my Watch ESPN app on my cellular telephone.
Thompson gets his 26th touchback of the year on that kickoff. Cole, how would you evaluate Nick Smith so far here, making his first career start?
Fantastic. He's made good reads. They've given him some option plays where he's had the ability to either pull or keep. And they haven't allowed him to really challenge down the field, and that's why I'm intrigued to see how this drive plays out. Do you go 2-minute offense, or do you just stick with what's worked so far, keep it simple?
Well, they're hungry for a win, just 1-7. And they go back to what has worked. Brian Hill, their running back, already 130 yards tonight, gains 2 there with the clock ticking against him.
One thing that's a little odd about Brian Hill hits the hole fast. He goes hard. The snaps seem to be coming a little slow. They're almost lofting back there. It's almost as if Brian Hill wants the football and is ready to go, and Nick Smith is still waiting on the floating snap to get there.
He may get tested, throwing it, but he doesn't. They run it, and he stood up right away. Marwin Evans coming up from his safety spot. The senior from Milwaukee with a big play on second down.
Marwin Evans' big plays, nothing new. He had a 90-yard interception return for a touchdown against Boise a few weeks ago. It was his first career interception, just coming up from the secondary, busting through the stalk block of the wide receiver and making a play in the backfield.
Now we've got a timeout taken by Utah State here, which pauses things. 38 seconds left on the stadium clock. And a smart move here with a 3rd and 9 coming up. It's a very strong defense that over the last 3 seasons has allowed only 3.13 yards a carry. 4th best in the country behind, here's great company, Alabama, Michigan State, and Stanford. So Hill has gotten off to a good start so far tonight, but they know how to stop the run.
Well, in their defense, it's active as far as finding ways to get the football, jar the football loose, turn the football over. It's a quality program here that Matt Wells and his staff continue to build in Logan, Utah.
3 straight bowl wins for this program and 30-plus wins over the last 3 seasons. Last year, a 10-win campaign for them. 10-4 a year ago.
3rd and long. They have the bodies here to cut a couple guys loose and really attack Nick Smith.
Instead, the handoff goes to Overstreet, and he doesn't get enough to pick up a first down. Another timeout by Utah State. Stops the clock at 42 seconds. Diligent timeout usage here against Wyoming.
And Overstreet looks a little nicked up, Mike, and that's not good. Not because Brian Hill, we know, is still available, but the depth at this position for this football team is just, it's almost absent.
It has been. They've cycled through Nico Evans and Josh Tapscott. Craig Bohl and Brent Vegan said they basically felt like they were spinning their wheels without a true number 2 running back. So they called on Overstreet to fill that role. He only had 9 carries coming into the game. But Hill has really gotten a heavy workload. Season high in carries for him is 33, and you wouldn't be surprised if he approaches or passes that tonight.
I think what they are trying to do here, Brent Vegan and company, Craig Bohl, they just want to try and rest Brian Hill, get him an extended break before the half, because they knew they weren't going to be able to go 2-minute offense. You're not going to allow a quarterback making his first career start against a defense that has quality edge players that can affect the pocket, go out and try to move this football down the field with 40 seconds left. You see the numbers from Hill tonight. Fabulous.
Ethan Wood on to punt. Jalen Davis is back to receive, standing at his own 25, and the punt is blocked. Down inside the 10, and Utah State loses it. The Aggies recover in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Utah State.
John Trell Rockamore falls on that football for the Aggies. Rockamore had a 97-yard fumble return for touchdown a few weeks ago. And this is just kind of right place, right time. Utah State comes after it, has Wyoming outnumbered. Rockamore picks up the fumbled scoop and score for a score of his own.
Brock Carmen able to block it. Rockamore with the recovery, and that looms large now. A chance to make it a 17-point game before halftime.
It's not even close. It's just, there's 3 Utah State players that basically blocked the punt.
And that is blocked. Special teams firing both ways here for Wyoming and Utah State, so it stays a 30-14 ball game with 34 seconds left in the half.
And that's Eddie Yarborough, their playmaker, their leader on defense. Almost looks as though like the Utah State offensive line got a little lax there. Took a play off. Yarborough wasn't taking a play off. He's ready to roll.
As he has been all night along the defensive line. Well, big games coming up this weekend, Cole. There's a lot to watch for Saturday. Syracuse and Florida State as the Seminoles look to get back on track. How about Maryland and Iowa, number 10 team in the country, undefeated? A little bit of a playoff dark horse there.
Possibly. Kirk Ferentz done a nice job, but you look at that resume, and it's hard to find a way to make yourself be impressed with what Iowa has done this season other than just winning their football games, which is a big deal, and it's nice.
It'll be tough with their strength of schedule there.
We look projecting out. They don't play another team that's currently ranked in the AP top 25 the rest of the season.
So another chance here for Wyoming. And you imagine they'd like to take it to the locker room. Exactly where things stand. 34 seconds left in the half. They will get the ball coming out of the locker room after Utah State won the opening toss, took the ball, drove down the field 75 yards, and pounded it into the end zone. It's Hill back to work, his 16th carry of the night, just trying to pound his way through that defense and doesn't have much room. Torrey Green, the former walk-on, comes up to bring him down.
You have to respect it. the guy's never dead on play. He's bouncing off defenders. He's running through arm tackles, and unfortunately, looks like he's a little bit shaken up. That's not good news for this Cowboy football team.
Trainers come out to take a look at it, and we mentioned it earlier that Hill was second on the depth chart at running back to begin this season, behind Sean Wick, who's gone down with concussion issues among many positions. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back have all lost their top threat for Wyoming.
I feel the good news here, it appears as though they're trying to stretch that calf out, maybe massage the calf a little bit. Lower extremity hopefully just cramping up for Brian Hill, and that's all he's going to have to deal with. You see the cut back inside and then just going to take on a few extra blockers. Sometimes when you exert a little bit of extra energy, that leg just locks up on you.
Hill has gone for 16 carries, 138 yards tonight.
Yeah, he didn't appear to torque either lower leg or extremity in any odd direction or have anybody fall on him in an awkward manner.
And Cole, like you said, behind him, it is a very thin roster of running backs. Kellen Overstreet, the next option, Nico Evans behind him, but good to see Hill back to his feet here before the end of the half.
I think that was just a cramp. I think he's going to be good to go. So good news for the Cowboys.
Already his 4th career game with more than 100 yards. So that brings us to the end of the first half, where it's Utah State 30 and Wyoming 14. Adnan Virk and Joey Galloway will have the DXL halftime report for you after this quick commercial break.